afternoon.
Hey, y'all.
Patty is here.
This is what I like about us. We can't do anything like consistently for a long enough period of time for people to get accustomed to it. We got to change it up. There's no stagnation here. It's always a different thing.
That's why people tune in. They
That's
don't
right.
tune in to hear the same thing every time.
That's right. I mean, we probably do repeat ourselves, but with different orders of words, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's what we offer to the world.
Be blessed.
So Patty is here, and Judy is here, and Mary is here.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good
We're excited that you're here for us today.
Patty said it's cold, but no snow in Minnesota. That's surprising. I thought Minnesota
was heartbreaking. Wow.
Fun fact, I lived in Minnesota from ages 1 to 6. And so I have childhood memories of much snow.
Yeah.
I remember like walking down the sidewalk and like snow being taller, than me walking through a tunnel of snow, and so much snow memories.
Yes.
Minnesota. Yeah.
I saw the coolest thing on Instagram, and it was like called Snow Feet. It was regular ski boots. Have you seen these?
You posted it and I saw it on your story.
I so want to go do that.
Yeah, it looked like little like miniature skis.
Yes, like, and like the general rule of thumb is that the longer the ski, the faster you'll go. But those little guys, they look like they were speeding along at a nice little clip with all of like their little fancy like skating backwards on the snow and getting to do all the flips and stuff. And I'm like, I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I went snowboarding once, and it's probably a miracle I didn't break my wrists. Like,
well,
it was kind of bad. I went with a group from like the church I was attending, and they all knew what they were doing, and it was my first time. It was not the right fit. And I have not gone since.
Okay. So I'm the person who says, I want to go try out a thing, and I'm awful at it, like absolutely dreadful. And then I want to keep going because I'm like, I want to be able to conquer the thing. Yeah. I don't know that I have it in me to say like, okay, I failed at it the first time, so I should be all done. Yeah.
Well, I was really proud of myself for like doing it because it was out of my comfort zone.
For sure. Yeah.
I was really determined. I'm not going to let fear take over. I'm going to do this. And by the end of the day, I was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, but I tried really hard. I really did.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are just, not for you. So,
and that's totally great. I struggle with knowing when something is actually not for me. That's the flip side of my coin. Like, I don't just say like, oh, I didn't do it great, so I'm giving up. I say, I'm going to keep going, but I don't know when to stop.
Horse.
Yeah. I can't tell.
Everyone has their struggles. Patty says it's very unusual for them to not have the snow.
Yeah.
But she's liking it, which I can understand. The snow is great, but snow for a very long time gets very old very fast.
I think the only part about snow that I genuinely dislike is the nastiness alongside the roads, where it just looks all gray, gross. And then when you go out and you play in the snow, but then you don't knock everything off of yourself before you get into the car. So then it transfers from you to the car, where it mixes with any other sandy dirt bits. And then it creates that same kind of gross muck. And then it trails through your house.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like about snow.
Yeah. Well, thankfully here, we occasionally get snow, but it's not for very long. It's like usually a day or two at the most, and then it goes away. And I'm like, thank you for going away so I can drive again. Let's see.
Oh, Nili. There are those of us who like it much more. Okay.
I was thinking about you yesterday, and I was just thinking about, I was thinking about, our chats and our friendship, because we've been YouTube friends for what, like 6-7 years?
for a little while.
Ridiculous.
It's been a minute.
And I think one reason that it works so well is because we have so many ways that we are exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then we also have probably an equal number of ways that we are exactly opposite.
we're those same poles. Like we're this like
Yeah.
we're both North Poles. And so we can't always come together.
Yeah, so it keeps it interesting, it'd be
For
boring if
sure, for
we
sure.
only were the same. But
I
we
mean,
have enough of both that it's just like, it works.
it does. It really does. I mean, I personally love talking to myself, but
Yeah, but sometimes you need a little bit
it's
of
really good to have someone who has like similar thoughts, but then also can balance it out and sounds a little bit more like the opposite opinion.
Yeah, well, and that just challenges your thinking,
Oh, I know.
If you have
Yes.
a yes person that just agrees with everything you say, then that only goes so far.
That's right.
So,
Mhm.
I appreciate what we have going on here. So
Oh, I
that's all
appreciate
I have
our
to say.
friendship too. Oh, gosh. I was gonna do a gesture. Yay, friendship. Happy New Year.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm not even gonna try because I know it won't work for me.
Oh, give it just one last try. I don't know when to quit. And it's such a good heart. It's not even one of those weird like hearts like this.
Yeah.
This one doesn't even make it happen.
I don't know. What am I supposed to do? That's so
This
weird.
is the only one that
There you
hearts.
go. There you go. Okay, so Timeless Jewel by Deborah says, no snow in Chicago either. That is surprising.
Wow.
Our weather has been a little bit warmer than normal too. Like it's
Well, isn't it an El Nino year? And
Oh,
it's supposed to be slightly warmer?
I don't keep track of that kind of thing, but we haven't gotten any snow at all. And like I've been going out on my walks in the morning and it's not like, ice cold, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yes. Let's see. Catherine is here from Oregon. So a fellow Oregonian. Eclectic Cabin is here. Lisa
Hello.
here. Ellie is here. I just had a chat with Ellie and Christy and Haley over on the Lioness Lifestyle last
It's all
night.
the E's.
Some of you, yeah,
L-E,
I know. And Nili.
Christy, Haley, Nili.
Yep. So if you haven't seen the replay of that, it's up on my channel as well as all of their channels. So you can catch that if you want. That was a fun chat. Let's see. Okay, so Patty's talking about the snow, what are they called? Snowshoe things? Not shoes,
Yeah,
but
snow feet.
snow feet.
Was what the reel called them.
Okay, they're so much easier than snowboarding. Okay, that's good. And they're so fun. Have to stay on flat ground. Bumps are not so good. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Seems like, yeah, you wouldn't have the length of the ski to be able to like create some sort of like balance through the impact of those.
Yeah. Okay. So Ellie has a comment here. I got a comment on Lioness Lifestyle that I was on last night for a chicken breed. Okay. They said, try raising Red Ranger chickens for meat. It's so delicious and they do not grow as fast. So I was talking about the, I forget the name of the breed, but it's a very common breed for meat chickens and they just grow fast and the feathers don't come in and they're just sad little
legs break.
And yes, I believe I have heard of the Red Rangers, and that would definitely be what I would go for if we were ever to do meat chickens again. Such a sad thing watching those poor little birds. It was like not their fault. It makes me think of, people that struggle with their weight all their lives.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's because of me, because of all of my choices, which of course choice is involved. But there are some just genetic
predispositions.
Some people and these poor little chickens. It's like, imagine telling those chickens, if you just exercise more and eat less, you'd be like this chicken over here,
Or maybe if you just ate less of that processed food, just go peck the ground and get your worms
instead of the grains that are in front of you.
Right.
Poor little chickens.
But arguably, like chickens make a valid point with their diet. The grains aren't so great.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting because they are all about protein. Like if you throw a dead animal to them, they will eat every bit of it. Like they are all about the protein.
So does that put them in the carrion category of birds?
I don't know. I mean, they do eat dead things. they will eat each other. If one of them dies in the run, they will all eat it.
There's no need to clean up.
Yeah. So
Chicken
they're
cleanup, aisle
vegetarian.
4.
Like all you have to do is have chickens for a short time and you realize they are not vegetarians.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll pretty much eat anything. They're definitely omnivores, but they love the protein, like nuts for it. So yeah, no more vegetarian fed chickens. That just doesn't make sense.
That feels like a solid movement in the hierarchy of movements that we that matter in the world of health and nutrition. I feel like seed oils tops the list.
Oh, for sure.
And dyes and preservatives. And then if we could kind of like come down to the whole like, wait a minute, I just lost it.
Oh, vegetarian chickens.
Oh, the vegetarian fed chickens. Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Unless like, you know, a vegetarian dies and you feed that to the chickens, then are they vegetarian fed?
Yeah. Well, any you know, beef products that end up in the chicken feed.
Yeah.
Chickens are vegetarian.
I'm feeding them vegetarians. Okay.
Yeah. Very healthy diet. It's my new diet plan. You should really try it.
Eat only the vegetarians.
Nita says, I love log cabins and fireplaces where you can watch others ski. And I would really enjoy that. Like snuggle up with a cup of coffee, maybe bring my crocheting, fire, look out the window, see the snow. That sounds so glorious. I am down for that.
You hold down base camp and I'll go wear myself out on a slope.
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll watch you enjoy yourself.
Well, and like the other thing, if it is like when I fall, I don't get upset about it, or like whenever I like really have like a full-on yard sale because I get going too fast or can't control myself. I'm like, yeah, let's go, do it more.
That is amazing. Okay, Sylvia is here. Good morning, Sylvia. Okay, Lisa says we have a chance of snow in North Idaho this afternoon and for next week. That'll be fun.
It's the best once like the snow happens after you've already got like the base layer going so that it's like the pretty snow instead of sort of like the, I'm not sure if it's snow or if it's not snow or if it's kind of like hairy grass snow. I don't know.
Yeah, fresh snow in the morning is just so magical. So quiet. I love it. Let's see.
Gorgeous.
Sing It says same in Chicago. No snow but cold. Yeah.
Well, I want to say I watched a Ryan Hall y'all video about like the possibility of snow coming this week, but we've had like a light dusting on the back deck where, you know, like it's not connected to the ground. So it has, you know, a colder temperature. But it melts away pretty quickly, which is much sadness, but we're going to be okay.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Mary says, you two are what I like to call heaven sent sisters.
Oh,
Sisters from another mister.
Sister from another mister.
Exactly.
Don't do that again, Lindsay. That's not appropriate.
Talking to self, some of the most exhilarating and enlightening conversations I have all day.
I mean, I bring up some of the best counterpoints to myself always because I'm like, oh, but what about?
Yeah.
But what about?
Yep. You got to do it. Let's see.
I think I know what the problem is here. I'm struggling with my hair today, y'all. It's like big up here, and then it kind of dips in like 1960s called, and once it's hairstyle back, and it doesn't have enough volume around my neck to make it like feel balanced.
But it's so cute.
My head's off balance today, people. I can't. I can't. It's a new year.
Oregon,
this is what you're getting.
Only odd snowstorms here and there on the west side, but when it happens, it shuts us down. That is true. We don't have all the infrastructure to take care of the snow, so it's like we just hunker until it's over.
Well, when we were living in Oregon, we had friends that had like studded tires because of the ice issues and that kind of stuff. And I want to say it may have snowed like a couple of like actual snow showers, but not enough to really stick and hang around for any length of time. So that was my experience with like winter in the
Yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Kind of
We get the occasional odd
nothing amazing.
So I think the biggest snowstorm that we've had recently is almost 3 years ago, right when we were selling our old house. I
Of
don't know if I
course.
told you the story. So
No.
I did videos on it from back then, because we went through the whole, selling the house and I did vlogs.
Right.
So we were in a time crunch because we wanted to get this house, but we had to get our other house sold first to like make the financing all work. And
Okay. I'm remembering this
yes,
somewhat.
so we our realtor is like, okay, we're gonna put your house on the market and like you're gonna get 50 offers. Like it's gonna be nuts. We're gonna have back-to-back showings all day, and you're gonna get so many offers that we're gonna have to sort through because we had, a single family home, small, lower on the price range in
Yeah.
Portland, and so they're like, it's gonna sell so fast. And we had to have it sell fast. So we put it like it goes live. We worked so hard to get it ready. Like it was insane. Um,
Yeah.
Night and day we worked to get it ready. And so we put it on the market and we start getting, the notifications like a showing, has been booked or whatever through the app. And so we're like, okay, it started. And then snowstorm came in and it was like the worst ice snow storm in I don't know how long. And like one by one, this show has been
Cancel.
canceled. The show has been canceled. We had, I think it was only one showing. Like some people came first thing in the morning before the snow really started on that Saturday, and they put in an offer, and it was the only offer we got, and we accepted the offer. It was like for 10,000 over
Oh my word.
and that was it. It was crazy. Like the timing was just nuts. And so this house,
Wow.
it got slammed with ice and snow, and they were out of power all up and down the road for like over a week, I think. I think it was like 9 days or something. And we came to do our inspection during that time, and the power was out and so Jeff like had to try to find a generator. Like we got to test the well pump. Like there's all this stuff you got to do.
Yeah.
And so we brought the generator. We're here. The inspector guy comes and he gets started. And like, I think it was something like within the first hour that we were here, the power came back on. After it had been out
You're like,
for like
praise the
9
Lord.
days. Like there were so many things like that happened. That was just like, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? But it all worked
Clearly,
out.
this is our house.
Yeah, there's so many things that like could have derailed the whole situation so many times over and over and over again. And it just every time it ended up working out. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts. So I am very confident
That is
we
pretty
are where
wild.
we're supposed to be. Like it was
For
not
sure.
failing. Like we had to work really hard for it. This is what I keep saying is God was like, I'm going to make you work really hard for this, but I'm going to also make it very clear that I am the one making it happen,
Yes.
Yeah. It was an experience. But yeah, that was our last huge snowstorm, and we got to enjoy it staying in my in-laws trailer on their property. So it was like an RV trailer.
Cozy.
It was very cozy. It was crazy. But we survived, and here we are.
Yeah, but
3 years later.
I find that like those kinds of stories are the ones that stick and everybody like always looks back on them like, wasn't that like the best time in life?
It was.
Because look at what we experienced. Like I feel like if there's not challenge, then it's not really worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but that's just me.
Such an experience. Gosh. Yeah. And we will treasure, that experience and then be so thankful that it got us to this place where we are, that we love. Like,
right.
Can't complain at all.
And that it's over now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, we're like,
challenge is over now.
We're never moving again, ever. Especially with the interest rate.
That's unfortunate.
Alone. It's like, we can't ever move again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've missed lots of people.
Lots of people saying Happy New Year.
Yeah, like this is the first live stream for a brand new year,
Yeah.
even though that's like, totally arbitrary. I feel like I actually, I've got a video. Too many words trying to come out of my mouth at the same time means it sounds like that.
Yep.
I've got a video that I need to edit that I just filmed. And one of the things that I was really like chewing on was the fact that, like there's two different, I don't know if I'll keep all this in the video or not, but like there's two camps, like people who are like beyond excited. It's a brand new year. It's a fresh start. We can really seize like whatever we want to. And then there's another camp that's like, it's an arbitrary date and it doesn't change anything. You are who you are no matter what. So why are you getting so excited and amped up? And so I was thinking through, and I feel like for me, it's not the fact that it's like a new year, new me nonsense. And it's not a Scrooge, like, bah humbug, nothing's different. It's more like, I just got like a little bit of a winter reprieve, a little break. And whenever I come back from a break, I feel really like excited and amped up to find my rhythm, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
So it's not about the fact that it was like a new year, a different number on the calendar, or the fact that, like it's all arbitrary and nothing matters. It's like, I feel pretty solid about the break. Let's get after some life.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy the new year and like just the idea of a fresh start. Like there's something about it that just feels good. And so I have a video coming out soon about like what I'm thinking about for the new year. So I won't like go into all of that. Not necessarily New Year's resolutions, but just like intention.
Some thoughts.
Yeah, intentions for the new year of like how I want to be. And anyways, that'll be coming soon. But do you have anything that would be considered a resolution?
No, because here's the deal. I don't do I don't do the whole like resolutions thing anymore. Like I thought about that, and to resolve to do something means like you're absolute. And what is Lindsay not good at?
Oh.
Staying like true to the course without deviation. Like I can't do that. I get too distracted or too excited about side quests. So for me, it's more about just like having, just trying to bring things back to a simpler place in my life. Like sort of, that's my focus. I like the word focus better just because our focus can shift. And I like the idea of it being kind of like a more short-term kind of a thing. Like, okay, for this month, I'm just going to try to simplify things and bring it back to a place where I felt like I had things well managed. I'm going to try to go back to repeating that cycle, and see if that works well for me in this season of life too. So it's all about like trying to bring it back to a simpler way for myself, because I get very distracted, like super hyper distracted. And I'm always searching for like the next like rush of dopamine and like, oh, let's do the next fun thing. I think that's where like the whole snow sports thing comes into play. So let's bring it down to simplicity. But then I also get into my head about the fact that like, I really like playing in the kitchen, even if it makes it more complicated. But it's just the act of spending time in my kitchen and playing with things like that. I used to do that whenever things were simpler. So it actually does fit in a weird backwards way.
Yeah. So
I said a lot of words.
Yeah. One thing that I want to make a video about it, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I want to do a pantry challenge this month. So that's not really a New Year's resolution, but it's a month challenge type thing. But we have so much food, like it's ridiculous.
You got to rotate.
Yeah. And I feel like I really need to. And actually, we're going to be getting another half a cow here pretty soon because we were gifted another chest freezer. And like, why should it sit there empty? Everything's just getting more expensive. The longer we wait, might as well fill it up. And so that's going to be coming soon. And I'm like, we gotta work through some of this stuff. Cause I stocked up on all the steaks at our roasts and steaks at Christmas time that were on such good deals. Cause I can't. And then we still have a lot of the other half a cow that we had gotten. And we just have so much food. Like it's ridiculous. And so I'm gonna try. My goal is to spend no more than $50 a week on like fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I can do it though because we have everything we need.
Yeah.
We get milk every week from the farm close by, and
There we go.
the
Okay.
eggs, so it's
Yeah.
that I'm just trying to like stay out of the grocery store as much as possible. And I think fresh fruits and vegetables are the only thing that we really need, but I'm gonna try to use up like the frozen and the canned things that we have too, like try to only buy the bare minimum
Mhm.
of the fresh. So
Mhm.
that's something that I'm doing that's, I don't know, not really a resolution, but fun for the first of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Do you
it.
follow Three Rivers Homestead? Um, she has like 9 kids. She just had a baby not that long ago.
Only 9?
Yeah, only 9. And she's adorable, and she does tons of canning videos, and
Oh, I don't follow her. I feel
good.
like you've talked about her in the
I bet you would
past.
like her. Anyways,
I'm subscribed now.
She does the Three Rivers challenge, and it's just like I think it's like a 3-month pantry challenge because she's all about,
Long-term food
yeah, she does
preservation.
tons of canning and drying food and stuff like that, so it's like, take this time to use up what you have, and, uh,
Mhm.
so I haven't, officially joined that challenge, but that's an inspiration. Let's see, I was trying to find it here.
Sure.
Yeah, Three Rivers Homestead. Yeah, so 2 months. So her most
Yeah.
recent video, maybe not her most recent, but it's
Mhm.
2
No,
months.
that's the one I just saw, and it said 2-month pantry
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, and
I can't
and you can tag Three Rivers Challenge, in any posts you do, and so everyone joins.
Sure. Yeah, I really like the concept of challenges. The one thing that I have learned about myself as every, turn around the sun happens is that the word challenge to me means opportunity to rebel against
Yeah,
something.
yeah, see, that's a problem.
So for me, and it's all about like I struggle with the whole do I try to force myself into something I like do I constantly try to swim upstream or do I allow myself to flow with the river and maybe try to carve a new path through the wilderness as I'm flowing downstream. So I constantly war with myself in that because I love the idea of being a salmon.
Mhm.
If I could be so bold, like
Such a spirit animal.
I swim against the things. It's challenging. It's like if there's no challenge, but I cannot do long-term challenges. It's like it's a short challenge thing that I can sort of kind of handle.
Mm,
And it also has to be something where I don't feel like I'm obligated.
mm.
If I feel obligated, I instantly rebel against it. So
You need a
the idea
you need
though,
a rebellion challenge. I'm
I
gonna challenge
do.
you
How do
to
you create
rebel
that?
against every challenge, then you're gonna follow all of them. Yes.
Well, so like that's the thing of it. Like where do you finally land on it? Is like in order to like actually rebel against who you are, like you have to actually wind up doing the
Mhm.
challenge. So then you're rebelling against the rebellion, but then
You're
it
following
just starts
the
to get
challenge. No.
it gets real circular
Yeah.
after a minute and you're just like
Uh,
I don't know where I land in all this, but if I don't want to do it, it's not going to happen.
yeah, it's so true.
That's it. And so it's feelings based, not
See,
logic based, which I don't love
that's what
that.
my video coming out is all about.
Feelings versus logic.
Yeah, 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 like the big, like, pronouncement of the challenge versus doing all the little things every single day that actually are the thing that make it happen. We
Yep.
all love the big new diet, the big challenge, but then when it comes to
The
every day
nitty
making those
gritty.
choices, that's when
Yep.
the rubber meets the road, like, that's the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and my video right before your sausage balls video that
Mhm.
I did was yeah, like it was all about the simplicity thing and not necessarily like trying to overhaul my life. And I think that to me is it's exciting to want to say like I am going to just sort of like go after the person I want to be without realizing that that's going to cost you so
Mm.
much, whether it's energy, whether it's sacrificing relationships, whether it's like costing you monies, like actual money. Like there's so many things that go into that, to the point where it's like it's unattainable. And I think that that is a really hard place to be, when you want to be different, but you just can't have, like, you don't have the patience and the long suffering to be able to go through it step by step, which I do not have any
Mm.
of that. So I'm not the person to look at.
Yeah, I feel like it's extremely normal for us as humans to have goals and aspirations and to like start out strong and slowly things kind of wane. And to
Yeah,
have those times to like renew the passion for
sure.
how you want to live your life is important. And so I don't think it's I mean there are some special people that are just like I'm going to do this and then they just are completely steady and do it perfectly for the whole year, whatever.
Sure.
But most people it's like times come and things get slow down and so you need those like re-ups where it's like I don't know. But I feel like New Year's is just that time for people. It's like let's
For
come
sure.
back and renew the excitement about these things, um,
Yeah,
that, we want, but knowing that it probably will wane and you work hard to not let it wane too fast. And, but
sure.
yeah, like, consistently having those times where you kind of check in with yourself and you make intentions and you start off again, that you get
Yeah,
renewed. And I
yeah.
think that's the beautiful thing about New Year's. Like, there's nothing magical about it, and you could do that any time of the year. But there's something about New Year's after just having gone through the holidays and like the festivities and things are just out of the ordinary. It's just not normal time. And then,
Sure.
setting your intention for how you're gonna live normally for the next year is, I don't know. It's a good exercise.
I'm going to agree with you on
Yeah.
that. I tend to take more of the middle of the road kind of approach to it, but also I do agree with you
Yeah.
there. I was kind of thinking like I think in analogies basically for everything. And as you were talking, I was thinking like New Year's is like you just filled up your whole tank. You just
Mm,
like you filled the whole tank up,
yeah.
and you're going to go for a while, and then you're going to have to refuel at a gas station eventually in order to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't
Unless you just want to land where you've landed and you're in the middle of nowhere, America.
last. Right. Okay, so Sing It wants to know how rebounding is going. Hubby found a
Oh,
rebounder in the
yes.
garage, and now we have 2. Oh, that's funny. Trying to convince him to join me. Oh, like, double rebounding would be so cute.
Rebounding as partners.
Yeah. So have you
So
is
for
that your New
me,
Year's resolution to keep up with your rebounding? You're gonna do it every day for the year 2024?
so I've already failed on that one. I took New Year's Day, like we were okay. Timeline is hard. So I talked about my rebounder. And then I did the cinnamon roll video, and then we went on a trip down to Texas to see my family the week before Christmas. And when we got back, there was Christmas, and then there was kind of like the garbage week where nothing happens that you can really like
Yeah,
pinpoint, but everything happens at the same time. You're just like, I don't
of the
know
piece.
what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
But so we did a lot of things, but rebounding wasn't one of them. And then New Year's Eve, we spent with friends, and we actually made it to watch the ball drop here on
Oh,
the East Coast. Like, I'm not, we're in the Eastern time
yeah.
zone. So we actually stayed up till the real midnight, which is
Wow.
like, I know you get to this age
I stayed up
and you
till the
still
real
look,
midnight too. It's
yeah,
9
but for
9
you, it was
PM.
like 9 p.m. It was real easy to do when we lived in Alaska.
Yeah.
So we stayed up for real New
Wow, the
Year's.
kids
And
too?
then everybody, we had, how many kids did we have? I think we had like 11 children and 6 adults. And we all but one, the youngest, she fell asleep. Not my youngest, but my friend's youngest. But yeah, there were tears. of not joy. there were there were a lot of big feelings because, you know, whenever kids get that tired, everything is amplified and magnified. But everybody held it together pretty well, given the fact that my children do not stay up past like a regular like 8:30, 9 p.m. So so we enjoyed that. So New Year's Day was a day of not doing things. It was a day of recuperation. And we had already had like the Christmas tree down by like the 26th. I think we had it down like super early. Our house was already reset. We'd already kind of cleaned everything up. And so we just literally took the day as a, like, we are just going to hold this couch down and keep it from floating to the ceiling because we need rest. So that was really good. But then yesterday, the 2nd, I was out there in the morning and I actually went longer than I normally do. And I showed last week that we have a Theragun, and I joked about it being a meat tenderizer. Well, I've been using that on me because lymphatic drainage is such a huge piece of like my focus right now without really like talking about it. And so I used the Theragun a little bit. I did rebounding for an extra long period of time, and it was so good. And then today got up, did my Bible reading and everything like I normally do. Took some of Jonathan Shane's True Endurance again, like 2 days in a row here. I'm trying to like not go over about a third of a serving. Otherwise, like I am just like sweating all day. It's real, it's intense, and it just like, it gets the job done. But so I went out there and I rebounded for like an even longer amount of time. So I was just like, I'm just slowly increasing my time, and I'm also trying to get a lot better at stretching and then doing lymphatic massage and movement to just sort of like keep everything flowing. You know, that lymph, it needs the help. It needs the movement.
I would love a little rebounder. That would be fun because it's interesting.
It is so fun.
Renee, she does vision therapy for those that don't know. She has some eye issues that we're working on. And they use a rebounder in a lot of different things, like bouncing on it and like reading something off of the wall, you know, and there's really good.
Trying to train those muscles to pull focus.
To be able to focus even with movement and like the eyes to work together and all that. Anyways, it's like that would be a good thing to add to our
for sure. Well, and okay, I am not a runner. I don't like running. I don't like jogging. I don't enjoy it. Like walking, totally fine. Speed walking, totally fine. The moment that you have to pick your feet up faster than a speed walk, I'm like, I'm all done here. I don't like this. But on the rebounder, I can do running like movements. And because it gives you enough like of that, like kind of that rebound. Funny it's called that. It just kind of helps me. And I have so much better endurance by bouncing and running on the rebounder, like running in place on the rebounder, than I do whenever I go out and do walks and stuff like that. So I, for one, am super into it. And it's good. It's good. I'm digging it. And I'm also trying to like get my arms incorporated into it, as far as just like trying to like stabilize myself and trying to make it a more complete.
Little weights.
Well, I really like my bands. Like I've got like these. So I'm like I'm really wanting to avoid the dowager's hump that you get in the back of your neck. Like, I don't think I have like a significant amount, but I'm constantly like trying to strengthen my back so that I don't wind up with a dowager's hump and just like constantly toppling my head forward. So, you know, I feel like the bands really help a lot with that. So I use those.
I have those.
And oh my word, do we have the same brand?
No, is it?
Mine is MHI.
Oh no, mine's Vergali. Same thing.
But they look practically the same.
Thing, yeah. So in the exercise classes I've been doing Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Look, now we have the same color.
Oh yes. She does full body stuff. Like it's HIIT training, it's weights, it's cardio, it's all the things, it's abs, and uses the booty bands. And my goodness, they
It's intense.
they kill. Like, I feel like a criminal.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
all you have to do is you put them like, around your calves and then, like, sidewalk back and forth.
Oh, like a crab walk almost, but standing
Standing up
upright.
yeah, and it's just, like, pain. But I mean, it gets results. And I have noticed that, like, I'm it's getting easier, like yeah, so it's
Yeah.
been encouraging. Um,
Does your set of the bands did you get like the one that had like, like 3 or 4 or
yeah,
5
there's 4.
different levels?
It's like
Mhm.
light, medium, strong, and heroic or something like that.
Mine says extra heavy on the black
Nice.
one. It's like you
Yes, extra.
we're working on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm like at medium right now. Yeah, speaking of running, I also am one that hates running and jogging, but I've started doing it a little bit.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy because I go out for my walks in the morning and I was like, "What if I just jogged a little bit?"
Uh-oh, she's doing couch to
I
5K.
know,
It's
I actually
happening.
downloaded that app, but I haven't used Um, but, like, day before yesterday, I jogged, like, a mile almost, and then we have, like, a hill that I climb, and I don't jog that, but I got to the top and enjoyed the sunrise and then came down and then jogged another mile home. I was like, what is wrong with me?" Yeah,
Wow.
my knees hurt after that, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but I was like, I did it.
I'm feeling my almost 40 years, but I did it.
Exactly, so but I've been really encouraged with how much I've been keeping up with my exercise. There have
Yeah,
been
it's like as soon as we stopped like focusing on it.
hey, maybe I'm a rebel too. Yeah, but because for so long, it was just like, "Ah, I know I need to do it." It's one of those things where it's like, I
It was
need
a
to get better at
grudge.
this." Yeah, I need to get better at this, and
Mhm.
then I finally feel like I've gotten some momentum. And it really did
Yeah.
help having a real life group people that I did it with. Like, there is something
Yeah.
about that, at least for me,
Mhm.
just so motivational, and it motivates me to exercise on my own more, like, not just to do the stuff with the group, but also to do stuff by myself, which is silly. Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, to me that sounds more like obliger tendencies, not
probably.
rebel,
Yeah, I hear that.
if I had to make a guess.
I don't it's just like, I just will work harder if I'm doing it with other people, like, we're in this together,
Mm.
like, I don't know. When I'm by
I
myself, I'm
find that
"Why am I even doing this?"
yeah, I find whenever I'm with other people, I'm always looking for an opportunity to make a joke instead of actually just like staying focused on the task. So I think that might be a
Ye
problem for me. So I don't tend to do very well. In fact, we just canceled our YMCA membership because of the fact that like trying to get over there, we're, twice the distance. No, more than no, we're like triple the distance what we were
uh,
before. And then my friend that I was going to things like boot camp or other kind of like hit workout trainings with, they just were able to adopt a baby. And so they are like in a whole new world for them, and it's super exciting, and I'm like, this is not going to be happening for us for a long time. We can cancel and save ourselves some dollars right now. And whoa, didn't mean to thumbs up.
oh, that's funny.
So it was like it was just the right thing to do for us. And fortunately, because of the rebounder and the other tools that I have here at the house, I'm like, I don't I just have to get in my own head and be like,
Yeah,
Lindsay, you're a big girl. You can do this.
yeah,
Like I had this conversation with my 6-year-old. You've already read these things before. You can do it
yeah,
again. Like the whole like trying to get back on the bandwagon with lessons and things like that. And it's like you've done something before. It's not like
yeah,
unknown. Try
yeah,
again.
exactly.
Keep moving
Yes,
forward.
but why does it have to be so hard?
Probably because we need a snack.
There you go, that'll fix it. Riquin says, "I'm doing the month of January as a pantry challenge." That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So far reorganized my pantry and got an inventory. Now I can actually see what I have on the shelves. That is like key.
So smart.
There's lots of beef in the freezers. Yeah. Yeah. I got to the point where I was like, I have no business having a keto chow for breakfast when I have all of these eggs and bacon and sausage. And I also, you got to stop it.
Well, if they didn't make products that tasted
No.
amazing, it would probably be a little easier.
And maybe I just need to start putting eggs in my keto chow.
Keto chow egg pudding.
do
It's
that.
delicious.
You can always do that. Oh, I made a I might do a video on it, but it's called, I'm gonna call it cake batter pudding. Because
Ooh, yum.
it has the texture of cake batter, but the reason I'm hesitant to do it is because it has raw eggs in it, which
Oh,
I don't mind eating raw eggs, especially because they're from
same.
our own chickens. But you know how cake batter, like there's the texture of raw egg,
It's
like
it's somewhat
yeah, so
mhm.
I imagine people will find it disgusting, the idea of it, but you're like, "But you like cake batter, right?" Like, you'll lick the cake batter. But it's, I made, Rachel's 2 Crazy Ketos pancake bites with the
Oh yeah.
butterscotch. And, so it's basically eggs, keto chow, Greek yogurt, and then I think maybe some melted butter. And, like,
Okay.
I mixed that up and I was making the little pancake things, and I was like, "The batter tastes better than the finished pancakes." Like, the batter is so good. And I was like, "Why wouldn't I just eat that?" Like, I have no problem eating our own raw eggs. And so, it was really
Is it
good.
spoonable or is it like straw
It's
slurpable?
spoonable. It's spoonable.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be like the consistency of a muffin batter or,
Oh, okay. Yep, yep,
something
yep, yep,
like
yep.
that. Um,
So when I think of cake batter, I tend to think of one that I do for the girls where it's got like a cup of hot decaf coffee in it to make it really
yeah, yeah.
thin, but it like
I
makes it
understand.
like super tender and a word people don't like, moist.
Yeah. I understand that. No, it's more like a muffin, like thicker
Okay.
consistency. So
Sure,
really
sure.
decadent. But if you use like zero fat Greek yogurt and have the little bit of butter, um, it doesn't, and then the fat from the eggs, of course. It's
Yeah.
like, not uh, not crazy amount of calories for one keto chow, but it's
Sure.
super filling.
Yeah. Well, and I guess with that egg, you bump up the protein by another 6 grams. So
Yeah,
you're like
and there
well
was
over
more than
30
one
at
egg
that
in it.
point.
So
Oh,
yeah, it
nice.
was a real,
And it's one serving, like
well, it
the
makes a
whole
lot, but you could eat it as,
uh-huh.
as a meal, because it's not, because there are a lot of great keto chow recipes. I made, like, the fudge the other day. You're not gonna eat a
Yeah.
keto chow's worth of fudge for a meal like that, it would be way too much, as far as calories and fat. But this one, if you use the 0% and then I think it was, like, 3 eggs maybe? Um,
Oh,
3
wow.
eggs, and then you can either do the butter or not. Like, I think I did it without the
Yeah.
butter, and it was still fine. So it's a pretty solid meal, but it makes a lot. So,
Yeah. I mean, like that puts you well over 40 grams of protein right there.
yes. Yes, and then there's plenty of fat in the
Nice.
yolks. So, anyways, I might do a video about that, but I don't know, the weirdness about eating raw
Well,
eggs.
we have officially figured out the formula to win at the YouTubes, and that is you put out a recipe and then I review the recipe and then you review me reviewing the
Yes. Yeah,
recipe.
and you
So
just keep going.
it just we just got to keep her
Build
going.
build the excitement. Oh, yes.
I related to that so much. So I did watch your live stream last was it
It
last
was
night?
last,
What day is it?
yeah, today is Wednesday. Yesterday was
Okay, cool.
Tuesday.
So I did watch the replay on
Uh-huh.
that. And whenever you had talked about like having like the different series ideas and having a well-organized YouTube channel, I was like, we really got to get this compound living thing going so that way we can
Oh,
take turns teaching the kids at homeschool
yes,
so the other could do content and just kind of like back and forth.
yes. Wouldn't that be magical?
Oh my word. It'd be cottage schooling, but homeschool
There you
style.
go, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to balance it all. It really is.
Oh man, I it would just be like dream world. Like we could get in the kitchen together and just start experimenting things together, and then all of a sudden there's like the talking and the back and forth, and then the
But
fantasy world is really
it
cool.
is, it is. But like I was talking about on the live stream last night, you can't shove a season into another season that doesn't fit.
For
And so
sure,
it can
for
brew
sure.
discontent if we live in that fantasy world too much. But it would
Yeah, I tend to live in the whole like, ooh, what are the possibilities? But also like I'm still doing these things and I can't let go of these
yeah,
things because not that I couldn't like I mean everybody has a choice to be able to say like, well, if you have children, you could put them into a public school system or a
yeah,
traditional school system. I don't want to let go of that
exactly.
at
You have to
all.
have priorities. Like, I got to the point in my because as a young person, I felt like I just fought against being lazy. Like, I see all of these good things to do, and I just need to do them. Like, that's my
Yeah.
struggle is doing them instead of not doing them. Now, like, I got
Yeah.
to the point I realized I was like, that's not my struggle anymore. My struggle is deciding within the list
Which
of good things, which ones are the most important to do because I can't do them all. Um, I'll still
yeah.
have moments where I am lazy or am tempted to be lazy, but it's more about like prioritizing,
Mhm.
figuring out
Mhm.
and being okay with letting go of some good things that it's not the
Right.
ones that I should be focusing on. So
Yeah, that was actually like part of the title for my video about my sort of like objectives. It was about prioritizing.
yes, prioritize.
I've got room for this many.
Yeah,
Like if I can't fit it on a hand, then it doesn't get done.
exactly, exactly. But there's so many other good things.
Well, and I have always been like a person who has a gazillion ideas that I can go off in the weeds about like,
Mhm,
oh, this idea and then we could just like micro break it
mhm.
down and it's like I get hyper fixated which you know, that's an indicator of things. So I could get hyper fixated on this one idea, but then that would spurn on at least 17 other
Yes.
ideas. My mom in love, we lived two doors down from her for a little while, and I would come over to their house every morning, have coffee, play with the ironing, talk to the office girls, and all that stuff. And um, I would sit there and just like spout off ideas. And usually people wouldn't be part of my mental process until midway through the idea. So it was not exactly easy for them to follow. But I was like, if I could just get paid to be a consultant where all I had to do was just come up with ideas and then people seized the ones they wanted, I would be rad at that job.
Yeah,
That would be phenomenal for
yeah, and
me.
then
But
someone
also,
else
that's
has
not
to execute
reality.
it,
Well, they could pick and choose. I'm not going to dictate because I
right?
also don't want to be a tyrant.
Yeah, mhm. You'd be a great tyrant.
I would not. I am so bad at details. It's not even funny.
Um, it says, "I am not doing an egg fast challenge."
Sounds like what I'm about to film is another egg
Yeah.
fast.
Make sure you don't rebel against that.
So, that one feels easy to me. And here's another thought process that I've had is I've been following a keto way of life for 8 years
Mm,
now. And before that, I was doing, Weston A. Price, slow, nourishing traditions type food. And, you know, and that is one thing that I have not rebelled against. And my friends have asked me, like, how is it that you like it doesn't matter where we are, like we can have like a date night or something, or we can have a gathering or a home group or whatever. I don't deviate much, hardly at all. And it's like, how do you just not? And I'm like, I don't know. But like, that's the one thing where it's like societal norms are to deviate. So it's like I'm rebelling against that societal norm. That was not a thumbs up software. um, the deviation is the norm. So I'm rebelling against deviating from my way of eating. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know where that was going, but
Well, just being on a healthier diet is a rebellion against the norm
yeah.
around here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy how much, uh, terrible food is looked at as normal, and when
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
true.
eat that terrible food, you are looked at as strange. So bizarre. Okay, let's see,
We've missed a lot of comments.
I know,
I'm so
we
sorry,
have.
y'all.
Um,
That's part of our problem. We get to talking and it just doesn't stop.
Lori Higgins is here, and
Hi.
yes, finally home and almost missed our live, but you're here. Let's see.
Plus, it's really nice to go back and like start at the beginning, even if you did catch the live, and put it on double speed.
Yeah.
So that way you get the information faster.
Yes. I love this. Patty says, I have a dry erase board with a list of my freezer contents hanging on the wall next to it. In my New Year goal is to redo my content and actually use the dry erase board. Yeah, that's about those
Yeah.
systems that you create. You have to use them.
Yeah. You know, Miriam said something the
I'm
other day.
creating.
Miriam said something about how she was giving herself permission to like change the system if the system wasn't working.
Yeah.
And that's a piece of the puzzle that I have not yet mastered. Instead of just saying like the system isn't working, I say, well, forget systems. I want them, but they don't work apparently. So I'm just gonna sweep them away.
Yes, changing the system.
The idea of just modifying it is way more logical. But there we go with the logic versus feelings.
Here. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Chris. I don't know if you're still here.
Yeah,
we really want to chat.
We do. Oh, yeah. Chris says, if I'm running, it means something is loose and you should run too.
I tend to be more of a fighter than a flyer.
Yeah. I think,
which is funny because I'm not very tall. I'm not very intimidating.
but you're wiry.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so Sing It has been using the True Endurance too, and she says that endurance powder really does give this decaf girl a great boost of energy. Yeah,
it's ridiculously incredible, isn't it?
it really is.
Jonathan Shane, he's got his science down there. I tell you what.
He does. He's gonna go big. It's gonna. Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan's gonna be the next person talking about it. I swear.
Oh, for sure. Even if it is AI.
Christy's asking if I did any sprint intervals. No,
Ew.
just jogging is enough. Although I do lots of interval training with the exercise classes that I'm doing and with some stuff that I do at home, like HIIT training. I like the radio kickboxing with HIIT worked into it. It's terrible and wonderful at the same time. Okay, let's see. What else have we missed? Okay, Patty says that I need to do the cake batter pudding recipe.
See?
I will do that. Lisa says she uses the egg yolks in her keto chow. Yeah, I know a lot of people do it, and it's good. Good stuff. Carrie is here. Hello. Let's see. Okay, Rickwin says that she would eat it too, the cake batter. I used to lick this.
Oh yeah.
My grandmother made cake. Yeah. If you know where your eggs are coming from, why not?
I mean, and I tend to think that oftentimes it is the vegetables that wind up with the most kind of like, here's an E. coli or some specific bacteria issue. It doesn't usually wind up being the eggs in my memory of things that get like recalled or banned. It's like romaine lettuce. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I haven't been burned by eggs. I should say that.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's always in the restaurants and stuff, it's like,
contains raw eggs.
Yeah, like do it at your own risk, basically. But how often do you, I mean, I know it does happen that people will get salmonella and stuff. It does happen, but it's just not common. I mean, think of the last person that I knew of that got salmonella poisoning like that. Of course, I hear that once you get it once, you're like, I'm never again. Let's see.
So Lori is asking if we have a link to the to Jonathan Shane's
Oh, yeah.
products, the performance and performance gains.
Yes, I do. Let me grab it.
So yeah, I don't have the ability to make the
Do you have a
comment
coupon
chat
code?
thingy. I do.
Because I don't think we have special links. We only have coupon codes.
We don't have links. That's true.
All right.
I actually have to go find my code. I want to say mine is just Lindsay.
Yeah, mine is just Indigo, so I think that gets you 5% off.
Mm-hmm.
So Indigo, what's yours?
I believe it's Lindsay. But
all right.
I have to like dig back through it. Yeah, just Lindsay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so much easier to remember when it's just your
I
name.
know, it's great. I always try when they ask, because sometimes companies will just send you what they
give you
whatever
whatever
they make.
Yeah.
And then, but when they ask, I'm always just like, just Indigo. Just Indigo. Easy. Okay, so Rickwin says, Serious Keto showed us how to pasteurize an egg without cooking it, if that bothers someone. Yeah, that's totally doable. And you can get raw egg whites from the store, like in a carton. Those are pasteurized.
Yeah.
So if you're worried, especially about the egg white portion of it, you could just use fresh yolks and then the egg whites from a carton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could probably get pasteurized whole egg in a carton too. I imagine that exists. I think so. And then there are some brands of eggs that are pasteurized, like just whole eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say that all the ones in the grocery store are pasteurized, but I don't know that that's
I don't know about that.
I don't know that that's true.
I would imagine that that's kind of like one of those marketing things where they're like, yeah, we want people to know that these are pasteurized, and maybe there's regs about you can't like say that it is if it isn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it has to be labeled whether it is or isn't. I don't know.
Okay, Two Crazy Ketos say that raw flour usually has E. coli in it. Yeah, a lot of things have a lot of things in them, and when you're intended to cook them, then that takes care of
it. Kills it.
So that's the thing with the eggs. It's like, I'm sure, I don't know. I'm sure if you tested like the shell, because it's typically the shell.
Sure.
The bad stuff on it, and when you crack the egg, then a little bit of it, comes from the shell. The inside, unless there's some way that the shell has been damaged or something, then it's very sterile inside an egg. So it is recommended to wash your eggs before you crack them. Not a lot of people, I mean, as far as I know, not a lot of people do that.
Not if they're store.
Yeah, exactly. But you still should. Like, I think it's still like the recommendation to wash your eggs before you crack them. We do, obviously, because we who knows what could be on those. I mean,
well, and when you find a little bit of schmutz on the outside, you're like,
they're very dirty. Like the eggs come out of the same hole as everything else.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop down there.
I mean, it can be very gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so there's this like halo around unwashed farm fresh eggs. Oh, don't wash them. They have this beautiful coating.
Bloom.
Yes, the bloom that keeps them so safe. And I'm like,
the bloom is off the rose, okay, people?
It sounds great until you have an egg that's just covered in dirt and poop. And you're like, it's not a beautiful thing. It's just not. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. I don't tend to wash my eggs from the store because I assume they've already been sprayed, because they don't last as long as, like farm fresh eggs if you keep the bloom on. But anytime that we go help out our friends with taking care of their chickens whenever they go travel or whatever, and we get the eggs from that, it's like, you're nasty and we're washing you.
Yeah, they are so gross. Your husband is here. I don't even wash berries from the store before consuming. We can't say that on YouTube. We'll get canceled.
Well, people that soak strawberries or other berries are doing it wrong. You're supposed to actually just use like a damp cloth on berries, not soak them because they absorb the liquid and lose their flavor.
How do you use a
How do
damp cloth on a raspberry? That's what I wanna know.
I don't know, but for sure strawberries, you cannot soak them without damaging their flavor profile. And
Wow.
there's a YouTuber that I'll watch sometimes, and when she prepares her fruits and veg for the week in a food prep video, she soaks those suckers, and I'm like,
Jen Chapin.
maybe.
I watch her too, and I watch her do that, and I'm like, "I never do that." Like,
It
I do
looks
wash them. I will rinse them
Yeah,
before
rinsing is fine.
the kids consume them,
Yeah.
but I yeah, I'm not that dedicated to my my produce food prep, but she's very inspiring.
She's very inspiring and very like down to earth about the things, but I'm like, those strawberries, you just murdered them.
Oh,
They
that's my
had such an
not
opportunity
gonna
to live
die
life.
from the pesticides and whatever else is on them. She's not gonna get salmonella poisoning, and you will. Definitely Jared will.
Yeah, but also
Ugh, okay.
she's sucking all the flavor out of them. Those poor things.
Okay. We should probably hop off here. We've been on
Oh
for over
man, it is.
an hour, just chatting it up.
Yeah. I also happen to hear a child calling for another child out there, so that gives me
Here,
cause for concern.
that is concerning. I grew up with chickens, love them, and my grandmother always washed her eggs. Yeah. Uh, it's so funny on social media. If you put anything about washing eggs, you will get comment after comment after comment of people like, "Don't wash them! Don't wash them! Don't wash them! Didn't you know?" You're like,
It's like,
"Yes,
well, you
but did
you
you know?"
also could wash them
Okay.
right before you use them. So like, should you not
Yeah.
wash them before you use them? What happens
And then
then?
I'm like, I just don't want chicken poop in my fridge or in my kitchen.
Agreed.
Like, I want
Agreed.
to be taken care of. And then also give eggs to neighbors and friends and, sell to a few people, and no one wants to open up the egg carton and have, like, smeared eggs. Like, that's just I mean, maybe some people do, and if someone did, I would, like, especially
Respect the
yeah,
quest, the
but
request.
if I'm like, "Do you wanna buy some eggs?" And then I'm gonna give them clean eggs. That's just how I am.
Here's a bunch of hay and poo attached to this
Yeah,
one. Be blessed.
bonus. Yeah, they're gross. Very gross.
Chickens are gross, but a very necessary part of our food sustenance.
Lori ordered some. Yay! Oops.
Very nice. I can't wait for you to try it out.
Yeah. I hope you like it.
Word to the wise. Try like a half scoop to start and then
Yeah.
see where it goes from there, because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how tall you are, but that a whole scoop, sweating for days.
Yes. All right. Well, let's end on this terrible, terrible joke. Did you hear the young strawberry crying? Her mom was in a jam. That would be pretty traumatizing. That would be pretty traumatizing.
I got to use that one. How do I use that one for a pumpkin patch ride next year?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will be back next week, same time, same place. As long as nothing else stops us.
Right. I mean, I could just not show up for rebellion's sake.
Things like that. But yeah,